I'm really happy to have this opportunity, and I can see from the list of the participants that we have with us Vice Chancellors from all parts of the country, from the disciplines within science, humanities, social sciences, engineering and technology. Higher education has expanded massively in this country in the last decade, so that today's character and performance have great implications for all the members of the society, whether or not they engage directly with the higher education. The implications of expanded higher education and research systems have global dimensions, affecting every sector of the society, particularly knowledge society. Research on higher education also attracts the attention because the object of this study is the institutional basis of all academic disciplines and contribution to the systematic knowledge to the future of the society. Today, higher education researchers work on concerns of the relationship between higher education and creation and development of so-called knowledge societies. Earlier, the last decade, the people were thinking that the lot of priority has been given to the primary and elementary education, neglecting the higher education. And the general concept of the society today is that higher education is not going to yield or it is not going to contribute much to the society. But if you go by the report of Robert Solow, the winner of the Nobel Prize of Economics, he says that one of the important factors in the higher education improves the graduate awareness of the ability to use the new technologies. And he also says that 80% of the economic growth of the country, of any country, is connected with the technological advances. This implies that the research and the higher education is not just important, but forms a vital part of the path towards the growth of the progress in developing countries. It is clearly not a luxury in developing countries to focus on the research and the higher education. It is rather a necessity in the fight against the poverty. The contribution to the economic growth is an important function of research in the higher education, but far from, they also contribute to the development of democracy and good governance in several ways. Research and higher education in all the fields represent a critical awareness and contribute to the open, qualified debate, which is vital for the modern democracy. And if you look at why research is very important today as far as the global rankings of the universities are concerned. When we are talking about the top 100 universities or top 500 universities in the world, we always go by a certain yardstick, which is nothing but a ranking system. And if you look at the ranking systems, different ranking systems in this world, the different ranking systems gives lot of impetus, lot of, the credit which will go to the research. If you look at the academic ranking of the world universities, ARWU, the commonly known as the Shanghai ranking, it is listed, it will be listing the top 500 world-class universities that was founded and compiled by the Shanghai Jiao Tong University. Now, if you look at the ranking is given like this. The alumni winning the Nobel Prizes and the field medals, 10% is allotted to that. And staff winning the Nobel Prizes and the field medals gets 20%, and highly cited researchers in the 21 broad subject categories get about 20%. Articles published in the journals of the Nature and the Science get 20%. The Science Citation Index and Social Science Citation Index, they get 20%. The per capita academic performance on the indicators above, the institution gets 10%. If you look at this, the lot of importance has been given for the research in any area, not only in science and technology, but in humanities and other areas, economics and other areas. If you look at the other academic ranking of the world universities, that is ARWU, is regarded to be the one of the three most influential international university rankings along with the QS World University Ranking and the Times Higher Education World University Ranking. The Chronicle of Higher Education has called ARWU the most influential global ranking. If you look at this most influential global ranking also, again, lot of importance, lot of number of points have been category is allotted for the research. Now, if you look at coming to our Indian education system, the NAAC is the one agency which really assesses and accredits the universities, and even in the NAAC, not much impetus is given, not much importance is given, but the NAAC gives about 30% of the total evaluation, and this clearly shows that the research is one of the very important component in order to the universities to be recognized worldwide. Not only that, in order to attract the foreign students to India or even Indian students to go and study abroad, this criteria is being followed. Now, coming to the Indian scenario, what is the basic difficulty in promoting research in this country, particularly in the universities? If you look at in a chronological order, how things are being developed in this country, and whenever there is a necessity, the scientists of this country are responding to that. If you think of this country, when we got the independence, the major problem the country was facing is the food, giving the food to all 60 crores of people at that time. And the government insisted that the scientists of this country should work on and see that the proper food should be provided to this people. You know that immediately after getting the independence, the several schemes, the Americans and several countries contributed a lot for the supply of the food to this country. So immediately the scientists took up the cause, and there was a green revolution, and because of the green revolution today we have surplus of the food product in India. Similarly, when the malnutrition is there, many small children were being dying. In that case, the government insisted that the scientists should look into the problem. Immediately there was a white revolution and we could solve that problem. Similarly, when there was aggression by the Chinese on Indian, then we realized that our defense forces are very weak and we don't have required ammunition and required capabilities to fight the war. Therefore, the defense scientists were asked to look into the problem, and we have succeeded in developing that area. Similarly, the space and all that. So this clearly shows that the Indian scientific scenario, not only the universities and the scientists responded to the cause of the society. As and when the society needed them to respond, they responded properly. But slowly, this kind of research temperament in this country has gone down now because of various reasons, particularly because of the political reasons. Because of the society is not very keen on the kind of a research, because it's an open system now. Now we can get any kind of a product, we can import anything from anywhere. Therefore, we feel that there is no need for the research in this country. But if you look at the country like China, once it was not at all innovative, it was not producing any innovative products, nor it was very weak in the research, but today it is topping the world. Because they have realized that research is only the area which really saves the country from several problems. So now India should also realize that. If you look at the government policies, the most of the money is being allotted to the central universities and the top national institutes, rather than the money is not going to the state universities. All of you know that the state universities produce about 80% of the trained manpower in this country. And we are able to give them the basic training in research. And once they get the basic training in this research, they are going for the postdoctoral work at the IITs and IIMs, even IIScs, and then they are able to, the actual fruits are being gained by the IITs and IISc. People are talking about that, the contribution of that, but the real contribution is from the state universities, which are really striving very hard to train the students. Therefore, the central government or even the state government should give enough funding to the state universities in order to develop the research. And particularly in the case of science and technology, we should remember that there is a wide gap between the basic research and applied research. And the universities at the state level can only contribute in the case of the basic research rather than the applied research. Therefore, the basic research will be the foundation for the applied research, and subsequently it goes into the innovation. Therefore, a lot of money should go into these universities. Not only that, the motivated staff. Today, as per the UGC guidelines or any state government guidelines, when we are recruiting the teachers for the universities, even UGC insists that they should have the higher degrees and they should have the PhDs, they should have the experience in postdoctoral experience, etc. And when we bring the postdoctoral, the people from abroad who have worked in abroad with a postdoctoral work there and coming back to India to work in the universities, when we recruit them, there is a big problem. The problem is a best researcher is not a best teacher. The basic component of the university is the teaching. And when they come and join the universities, they are not able to face the students and they are not able to contribute as far as the teaching is concerned. If that kind of a scenario is there, how the students can get motivated to go into research and development. So that is the one area where we have to really concentrate, that a proper teachers has to be recruited, even if they have a research degree or a postdoctoral work which they have done abroad, they should be given enough training in particularly the teaching. A best teacher is only one who can really command the students and who can really motivate the students to go for research. So these aspects we should take care in order to do the research in the universities which really contribute for the knowledge society. Thank you very much.